I have a question. If I write a character into existence and they ruin my entire plan, who's really in charge here? Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the chaos. So, one thing I didn't think about when I first started Patreon was organization. At first, it wasn't really a problem because I only had a handful of posts, but as chapters, bonus scenes, world building extras, and behind the scenes content started piling up, finding anything became much harder. And not just for my readers, but for me as well. So I finally had to sit down and build an organization system using collections and tags. So in this video, I'm going to walk you through exactly how I set it up, why I made the choices I did, and hopefully give you some ideas you can adapt for your own Patreon if you're a writer. Okay, so the first thing I want to talk about is the tags, because they're honestly the backbone of my entire organization system. If you've never used them before, Patreon tags are basically a way to categorize your posts so readers can quickly find similar content. And just to clear up a really common misconception, don't worry, I kind of thought about this when I first started using Patreon as well. Tags are not hashtags. They're not there to help people discover your posts across Patreon or anything like that. They're simply an internal organization tool for your own page. So think of them as labels you stick onto a post. One post can have multiple labels, which means readers can filter your content based on exactly what they're looking for. And right now, I'm showing you an example of the tags that I use. That is a Denki mood board in case you recognized him. So there I have the tags for Kaminari Denki, which is the character, Kitten Tails, because yes, he is a My Hero Academia character, but he is also a character in my fan fiction that I'm writing, which is Kitten Tails. And well, that post is a mood board. I am kind of missing the tag visuals here, but you get the idea. Now, as useful as tags are, there is such a thing as having too many. If every single post has 15 different tags attached to it, the whole system starts working against you. Instead of making things easier to find, you're going to create a giant pile of overlapping categories that nobody, including future you, wants to sort through. Personally, I try to ask myself one question before I create a new tag, and that is, will I actually use this often enough to justify its own category? If the answer is no, then it probably doesn't need to exist. Now, let me introduce you to some of my categories. I like to keep my tags fairly broad and then use sub-tags where they actually add value. That way, the system stays organized without becoming overwhelming. The first category is announcements, which is exactly what it sounds like. It's schedule updates, important news, release dates, anything I want my followers to be able to find quickly. Then I also have an author's notes. There are more personal posts where I talk about the writing process, project updates, behind the scenes, thoughts, or anything that's more about me as the author than the stories themselves. And for that one, I actually have a couple sub tags that you can see on the screen. After that comes dynamics, which is everything related to the community. I also have visuals, which covers things like character art, mood boards, maps, aesthetic posts, and anything visual resources related to my stories. And finally, there's story related content, which is the biggest category. And this includes tags for individual series, universes, characters, alternate POVs, bonus scenes, ebooks, basically everything that helps readers navigate the actual stories. And of course, the warning for the not suitable for work content. Now, you definitely don't need to copy my exact system. Every author writes different kinds of content, so your tags should reflect that. That being said, there are a few tags I think almost every writer can benefit from right away, and those are the announcements, the author's notes, the story or series that you're referring to, characters, so that if someone loves a character that you're writing, then your followers can simply just select that tag and everything about that character is going to pop up, and that's going to make their lives easier. These are what I'd consider the default starter tags. They're flexible enough to work for most writers, and you can always build on them as your Patreon grows. But if you don't want to build a tag system from scratch, I've actually put together a template based on the one I use myself, and it includes the main categories, recommended starter tags, and a structure you can customize however you like. And this one is going to be linked down below in the description. So feel free to grab it and make it your own. Now, let's talk about collections, because my approach to this has actually changed over time. When I first started organizing my Patreon, I made a collection for pretty much everything. Every volume, every project, every little category had its own collection. And while that worked at first, I quickly realized it wasn't a system that was going to grow with me. The more stories I planned, the more collections I was creating, and eventually the page started feeling a little cluttered. Nothing was technically wrong, but it wasn't as clean or intuitive as I wanted it to be. So I stepped back and asked myself a simple question. What is actually going to scale over the next few years? And that's when I decided to completely rethink how I used my collections. If you're only planning to write one story or one universe with multiple books or volumes, then honestly, creating one collection per volume makes perfect sense. That's exactly what I was doing at first. And it will keep everything neatly separated so that readers can easily follow along in order. But if you're anything like me and your brain keeps inventing entirely new words every 5 seconds, then that system can get out of hand pretty quickly. In my case, I know I want to write stories across multiple universes. So instead of organizing by individual books or volumes, I organize by universe. Each universe gets one collection, as you can see, and everything related to that universe lives inside it. So, chapters, bonus scenes, artwork, world building, author notes, everything, it all stays together in one place. Right now, you'll probably notice that I don't have many collections at the moment, and that's intentional. I'm organizing for the creator I hope to be a few years from now, not just the creator I am today. I already know I have a long list of stories and universes I want to write, so I'd rather build a system that has room to grow than constantly have to reorganize everything later. Because let me just tell you that it took me days to organize my Patreon. It took me like about a week to get everything in order and everything the way I wanted it to be. So I wouldn't recommend it to anyone. If you can skip that step, then please do so. Now, you might be wondering, if everything goes into one collection, then how do readers find specific books, volumes, or types of posts? And that is exactly where the title system comes in. Instead of creating more and more collections, I use consistent post titles to organize everything within each universe. And honestly, that's the part that ties this whole system together. The last piece of my organization system is probably the simplest, but I think it's also one of the most important. Having a consistent title format. The reason this matters is because titles do a lot of the heavy lifting. Even if someone never uses your tags or browses your collections, they should still be able to understand exactly what a post is just by reading the title. My format is always the same. I use the story or universe name, then the volume number, then the category of the post. That category could be something like chapter or bonus scene, world building, character file, artwork, or whatever makes sense for your content. Then after that, I add the specific details. If it's a bonus scene, I'll mention which chapter it comes after so readers know exactly when to read it. If it's a world building post, I'll include the topic it's about. If it's a character file, I'll use the character's name. Basically, the first part tells readers where the post belongs, and the second part tells them exactly what's inside. The exact format doesn't matter nearly as much as the consistency. Just pick a system that makes sense to you and then stick with it. If every post follows the same pattern, readers learn how to navigate your Patreon almost automatically. And trust me, future you will appreciate being able to find something you posted 2 years ago without having to scroll through your entire page. Alright, so now to summarize, my Patreon organization really comes down to three things. Collections keep each universe together. Tags help readers filter the kind of content they're looking for. And consistent titles make every post easy to identify at a glance. None of these systems are complicated on their own, but together they make navigating my Patreon so much easier, both for my readers and for me. And that's pretty much the organization system I use for my Patreon. Like I said throughout the video, you definitely don't have to copy it exactly. The goal is to build a system that works for you, your stories, and the way your brain likes to organize things. If this video gave you a few ideas or helped you rethink how you organize your own Patreon, I'd really appreciate it if you left a like and subscribed. It lets me know this kind of writing and creative videos are helpful. And it also helps more writers find the channel. I've also linked a bunch of resources down in the description, including the tag template I mentioned, a few organization resources, and other tools that I think you'll find useful as you build your own writing workflow. And if you're looking for other writers to share your progress with, ask questions, exchange feedback, or just grow alongside people who love storytelling as much as you do, I've also linked our writing community down below. We'd love to have you join us. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Happy writing!